Block to Block Live. With me here is another Eugene Aseev, previously from Acronis, and now you're up doing your own blockchain for enterprise. So we met this guy last year, if you've seen our videos from Crypto Central days, and now we're back here again, 1 year round circle. We're going to find out how is business, what have you guys been doing, and of course we're going to talk a little bit about Ethereum since Vitalik is here with us as well for this interview. Tell us more about what you do, bro.
Awesome. So last year, as you remember, I talked about the ease of building stuff on the blockchain, and that's exactly what we're doing now with a company called Chainstack, which is based in Singapore. It's a software as a service slash platform as a service startup, and we simplify the adoption of blockchain to enterprises. So basically, if you want to build your own blockchain or DLT, it depends on which protocol you use, you can do it easily with Chainstack. You can use multiple clouds, you can use on-prem, and you can build your own infrastructure very quickly. Because now if you think about like building multiple projects on blockchain, with Ethereum it's probably much easier because there are a lot of tools and there's a lot of instruments around that. There's large ecosystem, there's like 250,000 developers on Ethereum, but if you take a look at other blockchains, it's not as amazing and beautiful. And if you think about enterprise blockchains, it's even more complicated. And if you now try to build something on Fabric, for instance, it's a very complicated experience, and there are many people building POCs, so-called, and then they want to move to production, they're stuck because there's no way to move to production with whatever they build. So that's exactly the problem what Chainstack is solving. So we try to provide you an easy-to-use infrastructure which is secure, which is robust, which has all the quality of enterprise-grade infrastructure. We provide you support, and at the same time we support the decentralization of the whole space because we are able to deploy your nodes to multiple clouds, to on-prem, and we give you a choice of the protocol that you use to build your own network.
So instead of just going with Ethereum, because that's the most common thing and the cheapest thing that's on a GitHub, you can say design something on Hyperledger.
Hyperledger or Corda or Quorum or any other protocol that exists today.
So this actually bridged the gap between real businesses who want to get into blockchain on an enterprise level and say those projects in the market right now that is trying to just build a solution and shoehorn it to the industry and call it a business, right?
Exactly.
So in that sense, you are kind of like the leader in trying to put forth what would be some of the template or the best practices for businesses.
That's exactly what we do. For instance, one of the things that we do is we provide you a guide once you create a network in our platform that helps you to choose the right protocol and choose the right consensus mechanism. Because now most enterprises and businesses are advised by some consultants, or they've heard something on the internet and they, okay, so probably Hyperledger is very cool for enterprises, so I'm going to use it. And then they try to compare protocols and there is no way. There is no information, there is no comparison which is clear to understand like ups and downs of each protocol, and that's exactly what we are helping to do. We are building a guide on how to choose the right protocol, how to choose the right consensus, how to configure it properly, how to design your governance on the protocol, and so on and so forth. So this is exactly what we're doing.
When we say enterprise, that usually brings to mind something that is huge and expensive. But we also have businesses from startups, from 3-man team, 1-man team, to say a company of 50 to 300. Will your solution be able to scale in terms of pricing and robustness for a small startup, SME level, and all the way to a company of 5,500?
That's actually an amazing question. So we have currently 3 major markets that we target. First is an enterprise market, which is clear. It's like end user for us. This is for enterprises who sort of understood why they need blockchain, and they also have an in-house team that can work with that. The second group is service providers, consultants, system integrators. These are the guys who are building for the first group. And the third group is startups and SMEs who actually build on the top of blockchain. So one of the things that we'll have in the first release of the platform at the end of January is an ability to deploy an Ethereum node in a public net and have an exclusive access to it. So not like Infura that is providing you shared nodes, or not like the experience that you have when you want to deploy your own node on your own laptop and it doesn't fit because the blockchain is too big already. So we'll provide you a public Ethereum node that you will be able to use for your own purposes, for development purposes, purposes, for the token sale purposes, etc. So the third group, which is startup group, is very important for us, because we see that this is the best go-to-market for us, because there are a lot of people in the industry now. It's very vivid, and we see them like using our platform already, kind of, because we're meeting people and say, yeah, we want this service, so if you provide us a node for a reasonable price, because now basically you can do it for yourself, but then you need either a lot of administrative overhead that you need to manage all the infrastructure, you need to make it sync all the time and so on, or you have some services that provide this kind of stuff for a very unreasonable price. So our idea is to provide pay-per-use kind of service that you do in cloud, then you go for AWS and you choose a node that you deploy as a compute node. We want to do the same with blockchain, so if you want to deploy your own node, you pay for whatever you use.
So see, that way you don't kill the businesses before you actually get into the market. Because what we saw last year in 2017, you get advisors, consultants, some of them don't even worth their salt, who are probably like just selling, I don't know, like cupcakes before they got into the space, and overnight they're experts in blockchain, and then they charge an arm and a leg. I think those days are all gone. And since you're dealing in the space of choosing protocols, like looking at different solutions out there in the market, again in 2017 when we saw Ethereum price go up sky high at 1,004, it's pretty much because the environment only had Ethereum, right? Or everyone only knew Ethereum. But now when we see so many other options out there in the market, what is your take? I mean, this can be something that is more speculative, but I just want your opinion. Will Ethereum ever be back to its glory days? Or are we seeing that other competitors are doing just as well?
So honestly, I love Ethereum, and I really think it has a very bright future. So 3 weeks from now, I was in Prague on DevCon 4, and the ecosystem is so vivid, it's so live, there are so many ideas and projects and great stuff. So I think that the industry for Ethereum will be very big, and they will be still one of the major players, kind of Microsoft for blockchain or this sort. Other companies and other protocols also have their own niche. So for instance, based on our research and based on our communication with the customers and partners that we have, one of the most interesting and used protocols nowadays in the enterprise are Hyperledger Fabric. R3 Corda is very well known in the enterprise world, so all the consultants love Corda, and they have their own preference to that. Other protocols like Quorum and Multichain are also very interesting. They have their own niches, and ultimately I think that there will be no clear winner. There will be one sort of mainstream protocol like Ethereum probably, or EOS. We'll see how it goes. And there will be a set of protocols, like now we have like MySQL, and we have PostgreSQL, and we have MongoDB, and they're all great and for their own purposes. So we believe that the same will happen with blockchain protocols. So each protocol will be suited for their own purposes. But if asking about Ethereum, I love Ethereum, and I think it will be a great platform, and it is a great platform already, because the major thing that Ethereum has done with us, it brought us to this rabbit hole of understanding like what is the opportunities for this kind of autonomous programs running somewhere on distributed infrastructure that can actually execute some actions automatically without our intervention. So I think that's the single thing that we can be thankful for Ethereum, because now we have plenty of opportunities open for this kind of solutions.
One final question, Eugene. This is Bitcoin's 10th-year anniversary. We have been around for 10 years. Most of us only discovered it probably in the last couple of years to 5 years. What is, in your opinion, with your pick, so this is going to our list, right? Your top 5, or maybe top 3 most iconic moments in Bitcoin history?
Wow, that's an interesting question. So first, I think it's the birth of Bitcoin. So the appearance of white paper. I actually digged into the history of the mailing lists of like how people discuss this, and that are really solid discussions. I would say. I mean, there's a really super technical, and the question that I asked, like, okay, in the white paper you state this, so what does it mean? And it's like 5 blocks of text following up. So that was, I think, very important moment. There were like probably tens of people involved, but that was very interesting, and even now I recommend everybody to read these mailings, because there's a lot of insight on how this happened, how this was like born, and so on and so forth. So the next interesting milestone is probably when people started looking into it actively. I would say it was probably like year 2013 or 14, and this was sort of flipping moment for many people. For me it wasn't, unfortunately, because I downloaded the Bitcoin node, and actually I was doing security research on that. So our idea was like there was a first wave of adoption, kind of, so people started using it, started mining Bitcoin, Bitcoins, and I worked in a security company, and we wanted to explore, okay, how we secure the blockchain wallets and how we secure private keys and so on. And then I downloaded the wallet, and it was like very ugly UI, and it was very slow, and I was like, so what is this digital money? I mean, it will never work out. So then we did some research, and I forgot about it for a few years.
Yeah.
And then there was probably the third flipping moment for the industry when Ethereum came up and all the smart contracts concept came out, and I think that also helped like Bitcoin to propagate in the people's minds. So I would say these kind of three milestones: so birth, first wave of adoption, and then the Ethereum and the smart contract like principle and concept.
Wonderful. Thank you again, Eugene. Very well spoken.
Thank you very much, Eugene. See you next year.
It's a 1 year once affair, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, my name is Eugene Tay. You're watching Rock the Block Live, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Woo!